Before we get started, I gotta congratulate Greg Brush and Brad Ralph and maybe even Jake Maurice for the Florida Everblades three-peat. They won the Kelly Cup for third straight times. My kid's been in pro hockey 2 years, he has 2 rings. Possibly unbearable it's gonna be at my house. But congratulations, I think they tied it late and won in overtime, and they had to fight their way into the playoffs this year. I don't care what league you're in or what level you're at. If you're gonna win a championship 3 straight years, that's darn impressive. But well done, lads.
We'll start with questions. Right side, second row, Jameson.
Coach, so many times in these playoffs, Bob has kind of grown accustomed to maybe facing 6-7 shots in a period. How impressed were you with how he adapted to a new style of game here in Game 1?
I think that's the game that over time most goaltenders are used to, the higher volume, more consistency, and there certainly was that through the first 2. But that's truly the advantage for us of having a guy that's seen it all at this point in his career. He's had quiet times, he's had very, very busy nights, and he's clearly capable of operating at a high level in both.
Right side, front row.
Paul, what is the value to a coach when a guy like Matthew can come in here and say, they played well, we played well enough to win, we had to grind it out, when there's an understanding from the players that they know there's things, even though they just won the game 3-0, there's things they can get better at?
Yeah, there's an understanding of they've seen our game enough. What's this one tonight? 100, right? I think we banged out 103 last year. They've had an opportunity to see us play well, things that we're good at. So we've got lots of room to improve, which is the positive for us tonight.
Left side, second row.
Yeah, Paul, you mentioned obviously wanting to stay out of the box, but 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. What did you see from the group, and specifically Kevin Stenlin, and just the value that he has brought in the PK and being able to have him go toe-to-toe with McDavid, etc., and be able to do what he did?
They've been consistent, like those killers have been consistent in my game. And then there's nights where you will say that the driver of it is the players, but tonight the driver of it was Sergei. So, but that's all part of it, right? There's rarely are you going to play a team with a power play like that. I think the other one close to it probably coming in would have been Tampa, right? Those elite shooters that you're not getting through that penalty kill without your goaltender at some point having to be the difference.
Left side, front row.
Front row, yeah.
Work with me.
I'm
turning
trying.
into a pumpkin at midnight here, people, so get them in quick.
Me too. Late. Sergei Bobrovsky, was that as big a game you've seen him play in the 2 years here? And I know you've said that when Bob's not, you can feel if it's going to be a good night for Bob just like early on, and it seemed like that first shift.
No, because he ripped one off and he's serving the pizza on the first one, right? Cracked it with his head. Then he was dialed, maybe, I don't know. So this is all contextual, you know, in the environment of the Stanley Cup Finals. That was an elite game for sure. I think the game in Dallas was the one that we gave up 15 rush chances in about the first 4 minutes, and he stopped all of them. So that was his special game.
Right side, fourth row.
Yeah, I think it was Carter Verhaeghe who said you guys like playing with the lead. That may sound obvious, but what is it about your team that makes them so comfortable in a game like that where that team pushes the way they did?
Yeah, so I liked our third period. That's the piece, and I liked the entire chunk of it. I'm not saying I liked it because we dominated. That's not the context that we're in. We have a 2-goal lead, and it would be run about probably legitimately 2:05. Then he's coming out of the net at 2:20, so 2:05, 6-on-5, and the shots are 7-6. I liked our third, and I liked our third period in Game 6 against the Rangers. Kind of the same situation that we played. I think that's important to be able to do that, especially sometimes in these games, in the tight games. And I think it took us a while to, I don't know, loosen up isn't the right word, but sometimes if the team that scores first early doesn't have the advantage, because it releases the other team's down, now you start going, right? The pressure is broken a little bit, and so we score early, but we're not in control of the game, so there's that tension. I think it took us a little while to work through that.
We'll take two more for coach, front left.
Paul, on that point, those first two periods, we're not used to seeing the shot volume against you the
Right.
way it was. Like, what was going on there, and just how much better can you get? I mean, you get the victory, that's got to be great and confidence building.
Well, we're gonna find out how much better we can get. If we play our game, and again, so I understand why we have to operate in extremes, right? So the idea though, but if we just play our game, we win 7-0? Like, no, right? So they played a very strong game. I thought they moved well. I thought their transition game was really quick. And we would have expected that. So there's areas of that I think that we can improve. But then it's gonna be a grinder. It's the exact same thing. I mean, maybe that you would think that if you're at Edmonton, because we can play a much better game next game and lose. The shooters are just too good on both teams, right? So we get the one odd man earlier and it's in the back of the net. We found the slot hole once, it's in the back of the net. So even in a even shot game with the same expected goals, you can win by 4 or lose by 4. It's just, that's how good these guys are.
Last question, second row on the right.
I guess you're used to it by now, but another big goal by Carter Verhaeghe is early. I mean,
Yeah, I'm used to it, I guess, but he is an unusual performer, that man. He is so good in the most intense and almost chaotic play. He can raise that level. I don't know that I have much to say about it because I don't know that I fully understand it. Clearly, if there was something there I could pass along to somebody else, I would do that as well. That guy's a gamer. I think I said that about Matthew last year with some off-color language in it, but this year he's a gamer. Like, he truly is on the puck, and I think he plays. I think maybe what I love the most is that it was not an easy path to the National Hockey League. They had to fight for all of it to get there, and I think he trained himself to be wired in games the entire game. And that's why when he gets into the bigger games, that's how he operated. He and Gustav Forsling are similar in that they had to work and try and compete and fight. They're both, when he played in the East Coast League, like he had to fight his way here. So when it's wired and it's on, that's his wheelhouse.
Thank you for
All
your
right.
time, coach.